your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
WOCA.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be an interesting subject. Autism is interesting. It is interesting. It's confusing. It's fascinating, and we're trying to figure out so much about it. John Elder Robison has been with us before, and I believe he was with us to talk about Look Me in the Eye. Am I right? That was the name of the book. The new book he has is called Switched On. It's a memoir of brain change and emotional awakening. I want him to tell you his story, but just in a nutshell, Mr. Robison is world-renowned. He's an authority on life with autism. You'll find out why in a moment. He is a neurodiversity scholar at the College of William and Mary. And we had lunch with some students from College of William and Mary back in October. Remember that? He serves on the Interagency Autism Coordinating Committee with the New York Times. And he's a New York Times bestselling author. Switched On is the new one. Good morning, John Elder Robison. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me with you today.
You're welcome. Where are you right now?
Springfield, Massachusetts, where it's sort of cold and snowy.
It's snowing all of a sudden. What happened? It's cold here, too. It's Florida. It shouldn't be cold. Probably not.
It's snowing here either. It was 60 degrees 3 days ago, and today it's 30 degrees and snow.
Wow. Tell the audience why you are an authority on autism.
I am an autistic person. I grew up with unrecognized autism in the 1960s. At that time, people recognized autistic folks who could not speak or understand language, but people with my flavor of autism, which was at that time called Asperger's syndrome, now it's part of a larger autism spectrum. I have a good ability to understand the literal meaning of words, and I have clear, precise speech, but I don't get the unspoken cues. So if you say that's great, I can't tell if you're angry and sarcastic or you think I'm sweet and you're praising me. When I talk to you, I can't get things like body language right. So I might stand too close and you might feel I was threatening you, or I might step back away from you and you might think I was walking away from you or ignoring you. And it's frankly quite disabling, especially for a young person, because it causes so many of your initial interactions with people to be failures.
So let me ask you this. Academically, you understand those things. So if I were to compare that to somebody who's shy, for example, and then learns through life, and Johnny Carson had this story, a lot of public figures had this story, where they learned how to fake it because they knew that they were shy and it was sending out the wrong signal. So academically, they knew their problem and they could work with it. Do you do the same thing?
I did, yep. Once I learned about being autistic, I taught myself what was expected, like how to look at people, how to hold myself in a conversation, and that was absolutely transformative. That helped me immeasurably. And I wrote about that in my first book, Look Me in the Eye, which, as you say, you and I talked about that on the air some years ago.
Yeah.
And after that book came out, I was approached by some scientists from Harvard Medical School who were looking to do some experiments at Boston's Beth Israel Hospital, where they would use what's called TMS, a magnetic energy therapy that's used to treat folks with depression, in hopes of stimulating a different area of my brain and turning on the ability to read those unspoken cues in other people.
And did it work?
It did, yes. And that's, really kind of the striking thing. The Switched On book is really the story of my transformation through participation in a piece of scientific research where I was really sort of a guinea pig in the lab, if you will, and it turned out to succeed beyond our wildest dreams in my case.
And we were told you were a car mechanic before the experiments, and now you're a New York Times best-selling author, you're a lecturer, and you're well-revered in the community. It's
really kind of changed the course of my life 180 degrees, really, and yeah, that's a kind of a striking change, wouldn't you say, in a person 50-some years old?
Yeah. Does it make you wonder if maybe autism is even farther and wider than we even think now?
I think autism is more common in the population than people realize, and that's why every year or so the CDC keeps revising the estimates for autism prevalence upward. Absolutely, yeah. So
that the treatment that you had could be given to anybody, and therefore they might have their life changed.
While that's true, before it can be given to people, it needs to be validated. So TMS was cleared by the FDA to treat depression a few years ago, and scientists are now studying treatments for autism, anxiety, ADHD, addiction, epilepsy. And I think in the next decade, you're going to see TMS used for a lot of things. Right now, it is still in the scientific research phase for autism, but there are studies, like I took part in, going on in university medical centers around the country right now.
TMS, autism is what I want to ask you about, but I wanted to ask about how TMS might affect it. Robin and I do music, and every once in a while we'll play for a school of special children, and once in a while we'll play a song, and some of the children will just, cry. Like, this is the worst, saddest song they ever heard.
Yeah.
And the teachers will always say, well, they've got an autistic, there's something about their autism makes them cry at certain songs. And other kids don't respond at all. They have no, the music doesn't give them a feeling. Mm-hmm. Would TMS correct that? That's kind of a weird thing, isn't it?
Well, you ask if TMS corrects it, that kind of implies that there's a right response and a wrong response. And
yeah.
I don't think there is.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
One of the things that the scientific studies have shown is that autistic people as a group feel things more deeply than people who are not autistic, and they are affected for longer than people who aren't autistic. But at the same time, the things that trigger emotional responses in non-autistic people may not trigger a visible response in us. And that's something that's really at the heart of social disability, that we don't respond as expected to situations that produce an emotional reaction.
And you're doing something really, really marvelous. I mean, you are helping at-risk teens with your automobile program, and you've also gotten closer to your son.
That's definitely true, yes. We actually, 3 years ago, started a high school program in the Robison Service Auto Complex where we teach life skills in the context of a working automobile business to teenagers who are at risk in the public schools.
Obviously, a 10-minute interview is never going to cover this subject, so you have to get the book to get the rest of this. The book is called Switched On. I have good news for one person. I have a copy that I'd like to give away right now. Call me if you want it. The number is 622-9622. The rest of us have to go buy it. John Elder Robison is who you would look up on Amazon and all the other booksellers. Do you have a website of your own, John?
I do. It's johnrobison.com. I'm John Robison, JOHNROBISON on Twitter, and John Robison on Facebook.
All right, let me give this one away. We only have one, right, Robin?
Yes, that's all we have.
Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
Wonderful. This is Kathy. I thoroughly enjoyed your first book, John.
Okay, you got the second one coming to you. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
John, that was great, and she obviously is a fan already from the first book. Thank you for being on the air with us, and get out of that snow. Come down to Florida. It'll get warm here by this afternoon.
Yeah, I was at Florida Atlantic down there a few months ago, and yep, I should be back. You're right.
Nice.
Well, thank you for being on the air, and just stay in touch. We love hearing from you.
Thanks again.
All right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. President Obama to meet with Cuban President Raul Castro today, the first full day of his visit to Cuba.
The president laid out his goals
to forge new agreements and commercial deals, to build new ties between our two peoples, and for me to lay out my vision for a future that's brighter than our past.
A statement from the two leaders will follow their meeting.
Fox Radio's John Decker in Havana. Authorities in Belgium asking the public for information about a man who allegedly traveled to Hungary last year with the top suspect in November's Paris